welcome to the fifth episode of The Gift of the Jab. Today, I'm in Dubai Podcast Studios in Business Bay. First time been in a proper studio, so feel very professional now at the minute. Today's guest is going to be none other than the Cork Horsebox, John Mitchell, also known as The Ripper, or formerly known as The Ripper. But yeah, John is a Irish mixed martial arts prospect, good friend of mine, long-time friend, training partner, and he is also signed to the PFL, and he is going to share basically some of his story with us, how he got into martial arts, his experience of fighting around the Irish regional scene, how he got to Dubai, what made him come to Dubai, and then also just some of the cool training partners he's trained with over the years, and maybe just try to get some other cool stories out there. So let's get ready for episode 5. John, thanks for joining us.
Kelly, good to be here.
Episode 5. Just wanted to thank you for coming on. Probably busy schedule, busy training week, but obviously for people who don't know, John is an Irish mixed martial arts pioneer now at the minute. He's leading the lines, especially from the Dubai scene. So just want to get on, bro. Thanks for coming on again. How are you keeping?
Good, bro, good. You know, it's a good idea we did this because there were some times in our last camp when we were just chatting before the sessions and after the sessions. Yeah. We should have recorded some of that. It would have been good.
I know, bro. Yeah. I always find that, like, and that's kind of partially why I wanted to start some of this, is like some of the experiences that we share. Where, like, not even me and you, just people over the martial arts scene, and even me mates and stuff at home, always like, and they're talking about memories, you talk about cool things that happened in the past, and they just slip through your fingers sometimes. So I thought starting up a podcast might be a good way to, just inform people of cool things that happened, promote ourselves, do all that type of stuff. But like you said, like, we've some good stories to tell, so we'll get into that
100%.
As we start going, yeah.
You know, I think like some of the best conversations I've ever had, period, are after jiu-jitsu sessions.
Yeah.
Do you know when you're sitting down all wrecked from the session with people, like?
And it's like you went through your form of like meditation almost, and doing jiu-jitsu, you're sitting there, you're humbled. I got your ass whooped. I've done a bit of whooping, so I know I find it very therapeutic as well. Just talking after training, just a weird kind of calmness it brings to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's mad because like we were saying before the last fight, like me and you, like, for as long as I've done the sport, you've been in the sport. Yeah. You know what I mean? For as long as I remember. So, like, my original head coach, Aaron Maguire, that was like the person that introduced me to MMA when I was like 18, 19. And that was just, I think a year later than you fought him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then you fought his brother.
Exactly.
So, lad.
The two of the lads had it out for me too. The Cork lads had it out for me. I had to fight one, the other one wants to get a go at me as well. But actually, that's what I'm going to get started into. So, obviously, you're here in Dubai now, but I'm going to take it back to the start with you. So, I obviously knew you from training with Aaron and Jack and Cork and stuff like that. I wanted to get into, like, before you even start training with Aaron, like, because I think you done a bit of Muay Thai first, was it, initially?
Boxing.
Yeah. So, kind of like, what led you into fighting? You know what I mean? Because obviously we all have our little reasons if we're scrapping out on the streets or doing whatever else, you know what I mean? And some of us are scrapping in school and stuff, but do you find you were always drawn into the fight game? Like?
100%. But it's actually, I always think my story of how I go into it is like such a different from anyone else I know, because so basically I always want just to do sports professionally. No matter what it was when I was younger, I always thought when I grew up I'm just going to be a professional athlete, like that was it, you know. But there was where I live, Joe Cork's like the River Lee, so you can see the River Lee from my house. So when I was younger, I was so full of energy, like I just could not be tired out. Like I was definitely wrecking my mom's head, so she kept looking at that river and there was boats going up and down, and I was always begging her to bring me to boxing classes and stuff like that, and she never would, because I was already a bit of a terror. I was fighting all the time anyway.
The last thing she needs is actually to learn how to fight.
It's actually get good at it, like, because it's not one of them, like, Joe, they were like, oh, and she was right, to be honest, like, they're like, Joe, often with martial arts, if you teach them to fight, the kids won't fight. I reckon if she weaponized me at a young age, I'd be fighting flat out, you know what I mean? I would have been good at it, like. So she saw boats going up and down the river all the time, and she was like, do you know what, that's what you should do. She was like, you must be wrecked if you go all the way up and all the way down all the time. And she was right. And it's mad because, you know, Paul Buckley, like on our team, his dad was my coach.
Oh, in Rowan,
lad, this is the thing,
No way.
I swear to God, bro. Yeah, so like, that's why I'm like so close with the Buckleys, So like, his dad was my coach when I first went down there and stuff like that. So I got mad into it. Like it's funny, right? So there was this thing called the sculling ladder.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like you race on the like River Lee.
Yeah.
And whoever wins like is like the best on the River Lee. But lad, it's kind of like fighting, yeah, because basically you do a time trial at the start and then you challenge other people to race you, lad.
Getcha.
And it's so funny. So when I did it first, I came like 10th last.
Right.
Oh, lad, I was terrible. A load of girls beat me and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had to get that technique up then, yeah.
Oh, man. So then once I literally did it so bad, bro. So then I got so determined to get good at it that by the end of like, when I was like 16, I won like the thing outright. Like I won the senior, the intermediate, the novice, the fucking, all of it. And I was absolutely, it was like my revenge.
Yeah, it's like, all them boards beat me.
Yeah,
I'm going to get
I was
you all
like,
back
look at me
one by
now.
one.
But you know, like, who actually gives a fuck? Like, it's just something in Cork, but to me, it was like the biggest thing.
Well, I think that's the start, and you're learning how to tap into your competitive side, that they will then lead you into your professional sport, and because if you can have that mindset of being like, I'm not going to let these fucking boards beat me again. I'm gonna get all these girls back one by one.
100%, you know. Like,
start off with beating the girls first, and then aim towards the boys.
And man, like as I got like competitive and serious, you know, everything's perspective. Like so, when I was a teenager, it was like the most serious thing. Like so, like you'd like tell your coach, like you literally issue a challenge, yeah, and then like you'd show up on the fucking at like 9 a.m. on Saturday, and he'd be there, and all his friends were there, and you race. So it's kind of like a fight, but obviously not at all.
That's actually cracker, yeah.
So like I was always like, I went to the World Championships then, and I went to the European Championships. So I went to a real high level, you know, and I was on like the Olympic like panels and stuff to try go with that. But I was always way more suited to fighting.
Right.
Like I was terrible rower.
Right.
Like I was only good because I was like I tried so hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then when I fully then decided to start fighting, because I always wanted to do it, and even when I was rowing, I was just tough. You know what I mean? And like I'd like have that bit of dog in me to like beat people, you know. So then by the time I went to the World Championships, as soon as I came back, I just quit.
And you're like, right, I know.
I'm going fighting. I was like, I don't care. And everyone was like, oh, you're going to push the next thing. I was like, no, I'm so done with it, yeah.
Fair enough,
and when I started like, so with rowing, I was training twice a day every day, like in the morning and in the evening. And Joe, like you actually train more than I do as a professional fighter. I know we do twice a day every day,
but it's longer.
It's way more volume.
Yeah.
And like when I started fighting, I was like, I know I can get way better at this, because I was so shit at that, and I got really good. Yeah. So then fighting, I was like a duck to water anyway. It just suited me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think as well with fighting as well, it's like, I always find, like, I've chatted to people out in the past, like, you don't have to be too athletic to be a fighter. Being athletic, like, helps it, but it's one of them sports where, like, you can actually come in at any age, and if you're just if you're approaching you dedicate yourself to it, you can improve so fast, because 100%. It's just repetition.
Especially in MMA, because at the end of the day, like you know, if you want to start like pro boxing and you've never thrown a punch in your 25, there's such a disadvantage, because look how good they are. But MMA, we're not the best at anything. Like, no, it's, you know what I mean. So we can get decent at everything though. Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? And then that's how your own led you into boxing then, yeah? So you started fighting boxing around 16, was it? No, older again, bro. Older like, again, I think it was actually 17, 18. Right. It was old enough. My granddad boxed at a good level. Right. And my dad boxed a bit. And so he was always holding pads for me anyway when I was growing up. Yeah, so you knew the crack, like, yeah. I knew the crack, yeah. And when because I was so used to competing and rowing, yeah, and people always say it's so different, but trust me, like, competing is competing for me. You know what I mean? Like, you got to smash the guy, no matter what it is. No matter what sport they're in, you're there to win. You're there to make a statement. You know what I mean? If that's not the mindset, then you're just half-assing it. 100%. No matter what sport it is, you know what I mean? Yeah, and so, just with that there, what was I saying? About getting into boxing, your dad doing pads. Yeah. So I just, I went to the boxing gym, and after a month I had my first fight. Because I was so used to competing. Yeah. So it just felt the same. I just transitioned it easy. And like, it was funny because, like, you know, in boxing gyms, they won't try to train 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening at all. Yeah. Like in just some amateur boxing gym. And I was showing up all the time, trying to do extra stuff always. So then, like, gradually one day, I'm just by chance, I met Aaron Maguire at a Thai boxing gym, Siam Warriors in Cork. Siam, yeah. Yeah, and because I was fighting Thai boxing over there, yeah. And I was just talking to him, and I was like, oh, I'd love to do MMA. And then he just happened to be the MMA coach. We were talking, and just since then, that was literally how it happened. And I wanted to get onto it as well, because I thought it was a cool story about the ultimatum Ireland gave you when you are getting into knocks out on the street or going out on nights out and you're getting into fights. And I want you to tell the story about how Ireland gave you the ultimatum of, if you keep this up, you're not. So you know, like that was a big thing. If like Aaron was a really good influence on me, you know what I mean? He was like such a good role model, and he still is. And but especially when I was younger, like, Aaron and Jack Monaghan were like, it was just 4 of us training on the team. We didn't even like have like, Aaron was just the coach, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We only had a blue crash mat we were training with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, if you get in these fights, if I hear about this, then like it was real obvious I wouldn't be welcome to keep coming down.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to
Mess up what you had going for yourself there.
yeah, because like fighting was everything to me then, you know what I mean? Because I was telling you that mad story, wasn't I?
Yeah.
When I fought Ivan Blanita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it? Go on,
fucking it's a bit mad, yeah. So
Go
fucking
on.
basically, oh fuck, it's a bit mental, but basically, yeah, my sister was going out with this fella.
Yeah.
And I actually thought he was alright. Like the thing is, but do you know, the girls are more intelligent than me. Like, so it's not like I was like whatever decisions they make are good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
trust
So
in our judgment.
Yeah, I was never really like better judgment than me. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Probably most fighters.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So I didn't want to. I never really had an issue with any of their fellas.
Yeah.
But basically, like with my sisters, like they're like princesses, yeah, and you don't be swearing at them and stuff like that. And one time, I was supposed to fight Ivan Blanita in Cork, yeah, and he was seriously good. Remember?
I remember. I trained with him as well in Team Rhino before.
Man, he was a monster, and it was in Cork, so it might as well be in Madison Square Garden for me. You know what I mean?
It's in the Neptune, was it?
Yeah. So like, it was the biggest thing to me when I was like 21, and she ate my meal prep, and like I can't cook now, bro. You know what I mean? So especially then, I especially couldn't cook, and I put all the effort into like undercooking chicken and putting rice on it. Yeah. So she. We kind of went back and forth anyway, and I like kind of half snapped at her, and then she goes, "That's it, I'm getting Wukash up to talk to you." Yeah, her fella. So basically,
Bring him up then.
yeah. But you know, I was like, oh, hardly like. So
Yeah.
my mum was texting me like, but it's like this Polish guy, yeah, and he was like, "I'm coming up to the house to talk to him," and my mom texted me like, "Obviously, Wukash, don't come up to the house," and I was just sitting there like. I would text him as well, being like, "You're hardly coming up," and then he was like, "No, I'm coming up. I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Well, if he comes up, you know what I mean?"
Yeah,
like,
he's
it was
asking for it. Like,
warm summer's day, my board shorts in the kitchen. Like, I was like, "Let's go." So like, I had a box dog, my mom had a Bichon, yeah, but they were like pets.
Yeah.
So anytime someone new came to the house, they'd like run up to meet him. You know what I mean? So the next minute we hear a car stop outside, and then I was like, "He's hardly actually here." So I got up anyway, and he came up, and we saw each other there, and both dogs went up to meet him as he walked the thing. Just clarify, I was a lot younger now when all this happened.
Yeah.
So he went to push me, but as he went to push me, you know, obviously I had some run up to him, and my hands picked up speed in the living room. Like, you know, by the time I got to the front door, it was absolutely
further from the back door.
Yeah. So then I like cracked him, and I was on top of him in mount, and fucking his buddy. He came up with his buddy that I didn't see, like tackled him off me. So. But then I elbowed his buddy, and I went out chasing Wukash, but he was running around my neighbour's car. And the thing is, I really liked that neighbour, so I didn't want to jump over the car.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
get you.
And I was already clearly falling out with all the neighbours now anyway, like, because I'm after creating fucking murder at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So anyway, I was chasing him around the car, and then next, like, the red mist descended again. You know what I mean? And I was like looking at him, and he was not looking well. Like, half the neighbours were in there fucking consoling my mother and the guy that I just elbowed in the face, and the other half were just all on the phone. And I was thinking, ringing the Garda, like, so I was like, oh fuck.
Balls, yeah.
So anyway, I was so freaked I didn't even throw my runners. I just threw on a hoodie and left. And I was down at the park with the boys, being like, oh man, I'm in so much trouble. Yeah, but it was all good then, because he's not allowed to come into the house.
That's grand. So he made his bed and he had to lie in it.
Yeah, it was not good. But the thing
Cheeky
is,
bollocks coming up to the gaff to have a word with you.
I know, but imagine like the two boys doing a gym session. They were in the same matching black t-shirt. Like, imagine me and you were like, oh, we go talk to our fella's younger, my sister's younger brother there, or your girlfriend's younger brother, and you come up and just get dusted. Like, what does the car ride home look like? Yeah.
But like, even if he wasn't allowed into the gaff, I couldn't show my face in the gaff.
Oh, lad,
I wouldn't be able to rock up. I'd just break up with the missus, and I'd be like, nah, I can't come back.
Doing back and bicep session, just come up and get dusted by the young fella. But the thing is, like I was saying about Aaron, I didn't want him to know. Like, I broke my hand.
Yeah.
And he broke his jaw. So the thing is, I didn't want Aaron to know. And I still had the Ivan Blanita fight. So I just was like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Like, and I had this boxing coach Owen at the time, and I just told him, and I was like, don't tell anyone, yeah. So when we were warming up, I couldn't throw my right hand. But you know, then as soon as I get in there, I started absolutely blasting it, because I was like, fuck,
adrenaline kicks in. You don't give a bollocks.
Yeah. And it's because I was like a little bit like younger and not as sensible as I am now.
Yeah.
When I won the fight, it was like such a big one for me that instead of going to the doctors or anything after the fight, I just went missing there for about a week.
Yeah.
And then I really fucked up the hand. You
had 2 wins in the space of a week.
Yeah,
except the loss of breaking your. Well, I suppose if you count the broken jaw, your class has 3 wins.
Yeah, well, I told him I told Aaron like a week after, And he was like, yeah, that's actually mad.
Look, we let that one slip.
Yeah, because at least the fight was done then. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, that because I had to tell them then what happened to my hand, you know.
Yeah, and here, like, the Irish amateur circuit was obviously fucking around your weight. Like, everyone knew that it was like, you just fight everyone. You know what I mean? You fought everyone once or sometimes even twice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How'd you find the Irish amateur circuit growing up for your development? Like, how many amateur fights do you end up having?
15 amateur MMA, I think.
Yeah, that's good going. On
Yeah,
top of whatever other
Yeah.
like Muay Thai or boxing you done, but how did you feel that your weight division on the regional scene prepared you then to go pro? Like,
Oh, lad, it was unreal. You know, like, because same as yourself, like when I came up, McGregor was at like the peak.
Yeah.
So MMA was huge in Ireland, wasn't it, man? Like,
man, I always still talk to people about it. It's like around that era, like I was floating on there, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Around that time, because I was convinced all of us in Ireland were gonna be like absolute superstars because of McGregor. Like, do you know what I mean? That was the way. That was what he instilled in us. I remember when he fought Brandao in the Tree Arena. When the last show he did in the Tree Arena, I think it was, or it could have been one other after that. But I remember coming out of there and I was like, I'm gonna be a world champion. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like,
oh lad, he set the landscape for us all. And like, if we're being honest, he did, because imagine what it would have looked like when MMA first came. Because even when McGregor's coming up, like a lot of like my family's friends didn't know what the sport was.
Yeah.
And then because of him, everyone knew it. Like say if someone said, oh, what do you do? You'd be like, oh, MMA. And they'd be like, what's that? I'd be like, what McGregor does. And they're like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? As opposed to say like, I do cage fighting, you know?
He's set a bit of a benchmark, because even still, when I was talking about MMA to some of my family or whatever, you ask them what it is, and I'd even say they wouldn't even know McGregor, and I'm like, basically it's all martial arts slapped into one in a cage, and we just kill each other.
Yeah,
and
literally,
they're like, what?
literally.
I'm like, yeah, but I was like, it's safer than you think, do you know what I mean? We can't kick each other in the bollocks, or we can't elbow each other in the back of the head, and they're like, you can elbow, like, yeah. But no, I felt around that period, and there was something about the amateur scene around that time. There was some buzz off it. There was some buzz off it because like there was so many big fights. There was like the best were always fighting the best. There was no like big mismatches. All the shows are on consistently, bar the fucking Regency shooting, when that just slowed everything down. But there was shows on consistently, and all the best fought the best, and it was like I always say, like, whatever about the younger generations now, I just feel like our era of like the Irish amateur scene was like a golden era.
Yeah, it actually was, lad. You're so right.
I think it was, and then especially now, if you look at where everyone is from here, seeing like the amount of pros that there is, active pros, the amount of people who went on to maybe like UFC or PFL or Octagon or wherever they are, like, there's something to be said for our generation. I think we just fell into it at the perfect time. And like you said, with the hype of McGregor and stuff, that just gave us that kick up the hole that maybe we wouldn't have had if we didn't know what was ahead of us. We didn't see what was ahead of us. And I just felt like it was unreal. And then you went pro in what year, bro? What was it?
When Cage Warriors came to Cork anyway.
Oh, you fought
Eric
Nolan.
Man,
yeah.
It was craziest fight ever, lad.
Yeah, that was a bloody one, wasn't it?
Like, it was
yeah.
mental. You know, Redzer's over here now, Paul Redmond, yeah? And we were only talking about that the other day. He was like, he just went out and, because it was in Cork, stood and banged for the 15 minutes.
Was that in Neptune as well?
Lad, yeah.
No way, you didn't know that.
It was the, like, do you know, out of my, like, 12 pro fights, that's still probably
the best,
my career highlight.
Yeah,
lad. Down the last one, but he Cork more because, like, lad, my auntie's uncle's auntie went to that fight, you know what I mean? Like it was huge,
and
you know?
bro, that was a serious performance from you. I remember I was watching it, I was like, fuck, because Eric's decent. Eric was tough. Like, I know I sparred Eric before
tough as nails,
in Team Rhino. You'd no quitting him, decent striking. You know, he was kind of heavier than me. He was hard to take down. He'd be quite mobile for the kind of, like, because he was small, but he was kind of a bit like stockier. But you minced him. I was like, fuck. I was like, right, John went out and meant business here. And I didn't know I was in Cork. That explains why you went out and went on a tour against them. Yeah,
but like, even with Eric in that fight, man, like out of the 12 people, I thought he was actually probably the toughest, bro, because I elbowed him, I kicked him in the face.
Just kept coming.
And he was laughing at me, lad.
Yeah.
I was like, when I fight him make pressure, that's like my full style, is just pressure him. The first, only pro fight I've ever had, I went backwards.
Right, yeah.
He was just
That's
nails.
how I remember from sparring him. He like that. He just wouldn't, like, I'd be on them rounds. I'm like, oh, give me a break, man, because
Yeah.
you just keep coming forward. But a lot of lads in Rhino are like that. They just like that.
They're
They
tough
have
as
to
nails, yeah.
They don't give a bollocks. They're there for the rattle. Do you know what I mean? So it's good experience. And then many fights do you have in Ireland then? Before, because when would you have came to Dubai? Would you would you fight anywhere outside of Ireland before you came to Dubai then?
So I fought, my pro debut was in Ireland.
Yeah.
My second fight was in Manchester during lockdown.
Right.
Do you know when they did the no fans allowed?
Yeah. What show was that? FCC was it?
No, that was Cage Warriors too.
As well, yeah.
Yeah,
Who'd
lad.
you fight in that one?
Alan Brichalski.
Sorry, I remember. Did you get a team in?
Rear
Rear
naked
choke. Sorry,
yeah.
second round or
I
first round?
surprised myself I could submit someone.
Was it second round or first round?
First round, lad.
First round, yeah.
It was
yeah,
mad, you know. And like for that fight, like Joe, your man and muscles coming off his muscles, like
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
In that thing, like we all had to stay in the hotel, all the fighters, because it was lockdown. Yeah, they were like super strict with the protocol, which was good and all that. But the thing is, I kept seeing him walking around, and I was like, the size of him, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And Joe, when I look at my body, then I was like a skinny fat little boy, like
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So do you know, in my head, I was like, let's go. And Joe, because it was close crowd, it seemed way more personal. Do you
Yeah,
get me?
because it's not like it's like just me and you and here we're
Just
going.
us,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And do you know the thing is, like, I could hear what his coaches were saying to him.
Yeah.
And like I'm saying, like to my coaches, like, oh, we're gonna fuck him up, we're gonna smash him, we're gonna da da da. And I could hear him saying that. So it sounded like, do you know, if you're in a park and fucking he's talking like this and I'm talking like this, and I'm like, let's do it so, bud. It felt like
Yeah,
a scrap, bro.
yeah, yeah.
So then when I submitted him, like, Joe, submissions just come from nowhere, didn't it? Like, so
You took him down against the fence, did you? And then he turned his back and you sunk it in. Was that one?
yeah, he turned his back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he jumped on it. Yeah,
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 yeah.
I didn't even know I could do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, at the time, I was like, what?
Yeah, I just got shy. I think that was the start of you realising you can go and fucking smash through people. Do you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
it, lad. Yeah, it was
And then,
crazy.
so then I wanted to get into then you moving to Dubai. So what was the story with you deciding to move over here?
It's a mad one, yeah. So basically, like I was done college fully, and I know like I'd done really well in Ireland, and I felt like with the amateur thing, and I knew how good I could be,
Yeah.
and I was 2-0, and I just really just wanted a change, bro. Like I was like working on the doors and stuff, and I was like looking at the same sign on the road every day, and I was getting sick of looking at that sign, lad. Do you know what
so
I mean?
I need something else here. Different stimulation, like.
Yeah, like even one fella that I was working with, like he'd been working on those doors forever, and I said to him, like, do you ever get sick of looking at that sign? And he goes, I didn't even notice there was a sign there. And I was like, lad, how
That
you
just
been-
goes to show how numb you
you've
are
been
and
here
everything.
like 15 years, you
Yeah,
know. So
yeah.
so then I was like, oh, I just gotta go. So how it happened was completely random, bro. One of my friends from when I was rowing, John Collin, he was a good few years older than me, and we're still really good friends now. And he was in Abu Dhabi, and I just like, he advertised saying there was a coaching position available in Abu Dhabi. So like, I'd never been to the UAE, and I was like, do you know what? I just applied, just left. That was literally it, bro.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it though. Is just
Yeah.
get head first into it and don't think of anything.
Yeah.
No consequences come after that, isn't it?
But
Like,
bro, you know what's mad is like, say like I've been here 4.5 years now, yeah, and see now there's loads of us here.
Yeah.
Initially, did you ever hear of anyone going to Dubai? It was just me, bro. It was
Yeah.
crazy, like.
because when I remember when you went, I was like, what the fuck? I just
Mad,
felt,
isn't it?
I was like, what the fuck is he gonna do? Like, I was like, what's he gonna do over there? Because
I
like you
was
said,
guessing myself.
there's no one here. Like, you're on your own. It's probably a bit lonely initially at the start, and you like obviously you have to start networking and try to get yourself out there. Well, you've no problem doing that anyway. You're very
Yeah.
very social, but. Like initially, for me, if I'm looking on the outside looking in, I'm going, fucking hell, it's a big move. Do you know what I mean?
Me too,
To
bro.
a
Like,
desert, like-
and it was even madder because I didn't notice till I got there. Like just being a bit of an Egypt. Like you couldn't get into Abu Dhabi for 2 weeks because of COVID, so you had to stay in Dubai for 2 weeks.
Right.
So I came to Dubai. Now this is an even madder story. Yeah, the only person I knew in Dubai fully was when I was boxing before my mom like made me go around and give up boxing when I was 12. Yeah, there was this French Moroccan guy Hisham.
Right.
Did I ever tell you this?
I think you mentioned Hisham's name to me before, yeah.
Yeah, he sometimes comes back to Dubai and lives in my gaff now.
Right.
And he was the only person I knew, so I just messaged him, like, hey bro, I've just come to Dubai, I don't know anyone here. Are you around for training? You know what I mean? I'd love
Yeah.
to just get something in, because I was like, at least I'll meet someone that does
Yeah,
the sport.
yeah.
And Hisham collected me, and he was driving me around, and like Hisham's like a real like straight shooter, yeah. And he's like, I actually don't remember you, but I think I remember your dad. So you didn't even remember me. He's just being a good guy.
Oh, fair,
And he's
yeah.
like, what you're going to try to do here? There's not many, as you can see. There's no like people here doing this really. So he drove me to all different gyms to spar.
Right, so
Literally, he was like,
yeah.
you're going to have to make a good impression. So when I'd done it, he brought me to TKMMA and I sparred there. And then he brought me to Munir Laziz's gym. And when I was there, Munir was just going through people. You know what I mean? Like absolutely fucking them all up. And I was like, oh, can I jump in? And I could tell when they were looking at me, they were like, this, like, you're
what's
gonna
he
get
at?
killed.
What's this that? Like, yeah, like,
But you know what? Like, we're good for a knock, aren't we? Like,
Yeah,
so then I
yeah,
got in
yeah.
and we like sparred and it was sick and like, you know, like he head kicked me and stuff, but I was like getting stuck in then.
Let's
you know
go,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So they loved it then. So then he introduced me to Carl Keller, and then like MTK got really interested in signing me. So they gave me the Fighting UA Warriors over here, and that's kind of how it all started going.
Wow, yeah.
Because I fought that Chechenian lad.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But it was crazy when it happened because I didn't have a visa or nothing, man. Like I was just, and like you get signed by that management company when you have your first fight. So I knew to get signed, I had to win it.
Yeah.
That was like, so even my old fellow was saying to me, he's like, Joe, there's no point like sugarcoating this here. He's like, you better make sure you win that fight because if you don't, like you'll be back here in Cork.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, and Joe, like it was a Chechen guy that like fought in Glory and stuff. So it was like a big task, and like I was brand new to the place, and like I was skint, bro. Like skint. So for the fight, I was getting 2+2.
Right.
But like then $4,000, I was like, I'm fucking
Pimping.
balling, you know what I mean? So like when I came here, I was like, oh, I'm a VIP trainer, like I'm a coach for PTs, but I was just spoofing, lad, you know what I mean?
But you
had to,
like,
lad,
till you make it,
I was
innit?
training these Iranian lads in the Versace club and everything, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is sick. But it's because I was telling them, oh, I'm VIP coach, you know. So when I done that fight versus the Chechen guy, it was just mental because I had no money and I'd staff my arm and everything. But you know, the hospitals here are expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
I only got health insurance like 2 years ago.
Serious,
Especially
yeah?
then I'd known. So I like cut off the staff of my elbow myself and everything, bro. Fought the guy. The fight was absolutely crazy. Do you remember all the blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then because of that, I went like, around Dubai, my name got out there like wildfire then. And then I got booked out for PTs, bro.
Well, that's the job, yeah.
And then everything just started kicking off for me then.
And then how did it start? Like, so explain how you got your visa and stuff like that. How does that, like, for people who don't know what the way Dubai works is, you can't get a bank account here. You don't have residency unless you have your visa and Emirates ID. So how did you end up getting that then?
So I was on a like tourist visa for ages. You used to be able to extend it to 90 days. And I don't know if you can still do that, but at the time you could anyway.
It's 30 days now where you can extend it. You get 10 days grace from Ireland, it's 30 days, and then you can extend it for another 30 days.
Yeah.
While you're paying or leaving the country and coming back.
90 was big, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, that's a big help now.
Yeah, that was the job. So Carl, that was my manager at the time. This is even a mad story again. When I think back on it, bro, the 4 years were mental. Like, because Carl worked, really good friend Mark worked at the Strong Gym. You know, like,
yeah,
where,
I remember, yeah.
We're like Thor.
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
that guy, he was there. So I got a visa there. So I was like doing like classes in the Strong Gym, like teaching like the strongman boxing and all this stuff, like.
Right. So that was your getting sorted with your residency and all that jazz.
Yeah, that's how I initially got it, and then that gym, I left my visa with that gym and got a visa with 971.
And now you're there permanently now since then, yeah.
Now I have a golden visa.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to get into this as well, is because I've been trying so hard to get it, bro. Actually, I applied for it again there the other day. Remember I said and I didn't. It was asking for like certain things to like do with your like pay slips and this and that and the other, and I just left it because it's all. I said all optional. I put it in. I was like, "Grand, we'll see." You had to pay like, I think it was like 80 quid or something like that to send it off because it's all formatted. If you don't get it, you can get your money back. And I sent it off anyway. I was like, right, well, hopefully I hear something back. Literally instantly fucking refused. I was like, no way. I was like, what? So I think I need to get on the ball and try to source out proper like documents to send over. Then I applied to the Dubai Sports Council, like, just to maybe if that can be an easier way to get in. If I have a letter of nomination, I can maybe get in, get a bit quicker. But so we'll see. But obviously you're here so long, you got the golden visa. So what was that? Was that a big achievement for you in a sense? Do you know what I mean?
I think about it like even like talking to my old fella, like he said, out of every fight you won, it's not the money or the opponent. You beat the best accomplishment you've had in your career is getting that visa because. You know, they regard you a certain.
If you're getting that through sport, they have a certain regard for you in Dubai. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and people don't understand that. It's like you've been here so long, done so much for the community, all the coaching. And I with PFA, you went to the schools, you did the workshop. Now you got a nice win in the Coca-Cola Arena there in January, and now you're after getting rewarded with this golden visa, so it's well earned.
It's just good luck as well, because it was really thanks to Ozzy as well, bro. Ozzy really pushed me to get it. He had a golden visa. He really helped me out, you know. So thank God I have it, man, because now that's just 10 years I can
chilling.
stay here, you know,
Yeah,
like you can put your like future wife on it, you can put all the kids on it, you can put
Yeah.
your parents on it, you know what I
And
mean?
then as
So-
well, you have freedom to go in and out of the country. I think you can be out of the country from 6 months at a time or whatever like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So if
That's
you are
it.
working abroad or for whatever reason you have to be out of the country, you have that flexibility and freedom there as
And
well.
biggest thing, your bank accounts stay open here. So don't if
Yeah.
you're ever getting paid, they go into that. You
Yeah,
know, there's
that's
no
it.
tax in Dubai, lads. So
That's partially why I wanted to get it myself, just to have that residency, get me a bank account, and just constantly have a stream of revenue coming to Dubai. Do you know what I mean? Because I would like to eventually get set up here in the future. You know what I mean? That's the saying to me, missus. I could see myself probably living here. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, lad.
Just have to see what way the next year or two goes, and maybe you can get also some business things going outside of MMA that'll help me financially. And then if I could get even a 2-year residency here initially, just doing a bit of coaching or something,
Yeah.
it might even if it's 2-3 times a week or whatever like that, it'd be better than a kick in the bollocks. Do you know what I mean? So
way better than a kick in the bollocks. And
I
we've
know,
got
yeah.
plenty of those too. And the thing is, like, thing about Dubai as well though is like now that the landscape's really changed, like there's an MMA gym like in every street.
Yeah.
Initially there was like 2. There was like Team Noguera and TK MMA, and
Yeah.
that was it. You know what I mean? But now like the money here that you'll get for coaching is crazy compared to back home. So like people do packages, so like €1,000 for 10 sessions. You know what I mean? And that's like super common. And like if you think about it, like let's say you got 4 clients, like that's not unachievable to get. Like that can be $4,000 a month. You know, untaxed, straight into your pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine asking someone for €1,000 back home for 10 sessions.
they'd laugh at you. They
Wouldn't be like, there's no fucking chance, lad. You know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
leave on the scene, sure. Like
a good private education back in Ireland is $2,500 for the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
probably
it is,
more.
isn't it? Oh, is it? Yeah.
Probably more, man. Yeah.
Back in the day, anyway, it was something
Yeah.
like that, you know, like, but fucking. So imagine asking for $2,000 to. I'll tell you a mad story, yeah?
Yeah.
So this really put things in perspective. So still early days, there was this kid I was coaching, yeah? And the kid was like super soft, yeah? But he was getting picked on in school. Okay, and so his dad was like the man, and he was like real self-made, but the kid was kind of a Dubai kid, yeah.
Yeah.
So
kind of has a handy and
yeah. So he's only young as well. Like he's only like 7 or 6 or something.
Right,
Anyway,
getcha,
so you know he can still have it handy for a few more years.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But his dad was saying, "Oh, I need someone to come in and toughen him up. Like you have to teach him how to box really well." So basically, but even when we were doing like the sessions, he'd like run and pick flowers for his mom. And like his mom would obviously love him. She'd be like weak for him. She's like, "Oh, he's so cute," but his dad would be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Like, and I'd be like, "Come on, like jab, right hand," you know. So basically, he was getting picked on in school, and so he said to me, he goes, "Oh, like the bully said he's going to beat me up like tomorrow, basically," and I was like, "No, we'll do something to fuck him up, bro." So, bro, I just kept training him spike elbows. Do you know what I mean?
Think of the worst technique you can land on someone. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, I was like, if he hits him with this,
son.
but I didn't think he'd do it, lad.
And he fucking
yeah,
did
so
he?
listen, so the next day,
Man.
bro. So you know, like I just did it anyway, and I was like, I was only like having a conversation with him, like only messing. I was like, yeah, you do this, grab the back of your bam, you know, and so the next day anyway, his dad rings me. And do you know when I left that kid, I wasn't like I was thinking about that kid like for the rest of the day. I completely forgot I'd done that. Like,
next onto the next one. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you know, and he rang me and he was like, "Hey, there was an incident in school," and I was like, "Oh yeah, what happened?" He was like, "Oh, like his kid anyway got in the fight," and he was like, "So basically, what happened was, Joe, your man's like a super mommy's boy, yeah,
right?
So like the bully said something about your mom's mom anyway, and like that was just too much of a trigger. So he's like, "Yeah, your man's after hitting him with his forearm or something. I don't know, but." He was delighted.
Yeah,
he, was like, he finally stuck up to him.
This is the dad saying this to you.
The dad was like, he hit him with his forearm or something. And I was like, oh, well, thank fuck he messed it up.
Yeah.
He didn't even spike him on his head. Like, you know
we get like 10 stitches into the head. Like,
yeah, so then I was like, he was like, oh, like, ask your company, like, what's the max amount of sessions I can buy off you and stuff like this. And I want to lock in. I'm so happy you've made such a difference. So I was like, okay, I'll ask the company. So I went into my car and had to think to myself, got my notes out.
What can I charge as well?
Yeah, because the thing is, I was only kind of making it all up anyway. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, look, I talked to them. As if I was talking to the voices in my head. And they said 40 sessions.
Wow.
I was set up for 40, lad, because I was just thinking I need rent for this much. I like calculated all my bills, and I didn't want to go over 40 because I'd probably fucking lose count of it. I'm training the kid forever, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but even that, like, the fact he paid like 40 sessions, so I can't remember how much it was, but it was fucking really good.
And do you pay all up front? Or was
yeah,
it?
Like all up
man.
front, and it's because it's Dubai, like, you know, he already had my details. He said, yeah, done, perfect, transferred it to me. And bro, this is like me texting each other, like say if you were like, can you Revolut me 20 euros?
Yeah, this is just him sending that money. Like,
man, I would think deeply if I was sending someone the.
Man, I would have absolutely creamed me jocks if someone sent me that amount of money at once.
I really panicked, bro. Because I was young as well.
Is this legal? Is this legal or what? Like,
yeah, I was like. Like I felt like I was scamming, but I was like, no, I'm actually training the kid. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to teach him to elbow all the bullies. Like, yeah.
And how was it? Just like, has he been still training with you, or what ways?
Yeah, we done the 40 sessions, then we did like another 2 or 3 packages. But you know, like what kids are like, I think he's playing soccer now or something.
Yeah, he's getting fed up with it.
Yeah.
Every kid changed their mind, like fucking.
Yeah,
the weather,
that's
like,
it. Like,
yeah.
but still, he smashed the bully. Like,
yeah, fair. That's a success story.
Thing, like, yeah, if he gets bullied again, he'll be back onto me.
Have you ever trained any famous people? Or half famous, semi-famous, Z-list celebrities or whatever?
I'm trying to think about it, man. Have I?
It's all just martial artists, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more that. Like, but I've sparred a lot. I've sparred a lot of mad people, bro.
And this is actually, I wrote down in my notes stuff I want to talk about you, because I want you to name drop a few of the sparring partners that you spar, because man, you have some resume of sparring partners behind you. Like, honestly, I tell my girlfriend sometimes, but like she doesn't fucking clue. I'm like, John, even with Armand the other day, I was like, told her, and she was like, what? I was like, no point in talking about this deal. I was like, so I thought it'd be cool to get you on the podcast and just name dropping a few mad people who you sparred, yeah.
Lad, so basically, right, Dubai's so transient, so all these people come here all the time, yeah? You know what I mean? And they know if they ring me for a knock, I'll do it, yeah?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Especially if it's sick, but like, so, like Armand McGregor, like Darren Till, like. But the maddest one was but there's loads, bro. Like, fucking anyone that comes, if they ring me, I'll do it, you know?
Even if they're not like in the limelight, essentially, like, because that's what I was talking to Mito the other day. Is like he'd always come if you asked him, because he knows you would always go.
Always,
and we are
bro,
chatting about how just like good of a training partner you are, that if you needed you for anything, you'd be there at the drop of a hat.
That's what it's all about, though.
No matter who it is, you'd be there for them. Do you know what I mean? As long as they ask you and they're sound about it, you'll be there. And I think that's hard to come by when in relation to, maybe it's just especially out here, when there's a lot of kind of like I don't know, it just seems to me out here it's a bit like gym versus gym kind of like tension. So where you just don't give a bollocks by that. And I think, but I think that's the Irish personality, the Irish spirit and character. It's just like, we just like we're not, it's no beef, like it's just like, fuck it, just rocking up and doing your training session, like, do you know what I mean?
always think that, like, I don't have the beef. I'm not even fucking from here, like,
you know
what I mean?
I'm not involved in this,
you know
like,
what I mean? I'll just go where I like. And as well, especially like, say Mito could be training in like fucking like somewhere I can't go at all, I just go for him. If he's gonna go, I'll go, you know what I mean? But we can go anywhere. But bro, the maddest sparring partner I have was Thor.
Big Thor, yeah.
Lad.
So how did that even come up? Like, obviously you were doing a bit of coaching there, but how did that even, like?
So he was getting ready to fight Eddie Hall,
right?
Yeah, and he was sparring, and he couldn't find the sparring partner to spar him. And I literally was just talking to him, and I was like, I'll do it. And he was like, really? I goes, yeah, no worries, I'll do it. And then the next day they're like, okay, come down and do it. And bro, I was sorry then, like, because like, I brought my cousin down, Enda, to go in my corner, like, you know what I mean? And bro, when I was warming up, I was looking at him, I was like, this is like, I can't stress how big he is,
bro.
Like
he looks big. Do you know the cameras make people look smaller? They don't make him look smaller, like, you
know, like, because when you're going to spar someone, like, you're going to be like, fuck him up, no worries, like, but you know, then when we're like actually staring across the ring, I was thinking of running in between his legs, bro. Yeah. You know, he's that big, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, this is silly. But anyway, we're going. And at the time, the first spar was actually grand. So, like, he was, like, bouncing on his feet. And because he's so big, do you know when you throw a punch, bro, it would just take forever. Like, it was like a missile, but it was like, so he couldn't touch me at all. And I was sweet. And he loved it. And he was delighted. And I got a picture. And I was able to crack him and stuff like this. It was mental. So, I was like, just like, sweet. So, but then he got a new coach. Right. He got a really good coach. This guy's Billy something. And so he asked me to spar again. I was like, yeah, sweet. And this was like months down the line. So I went in with like the same confidence of, he can't even hit me anyway. Like, we're sweet. And then as soon as we started to spar, he was like sitting down in his stance, like tracking with his hand. Oh, lad, he beat the brakes off me. Yeah, he fucked me up, lad. Wow. Like, I remember driving home after that, and I kind of, it was crazy, lad. I was like, oh no. And he hits hard as well. Like, it's not like he like.
But like, if he didn't hit hard, I'd be surprised. Like,
he tries to hit you hard.
Yeah,
that was the thing. I was like, does this guy know he's fucking the guy?
3 times me weight, like, as
he's
well.
He's the mountain, bro. He's the mountain from Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? So anyway, so he was really grateful for me anyway, and he brought me for food.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a legend. So, do you know, bro, when he was bringing me food, I was all gassed up. So I brought my cousin again because I was like, this guy's going to like slaughter a cow and something. Like, what does he eat? You know what I mean? It's going to be something like a banquet. He brought me to like organic like salad bar. I was like, is this actually what you eat? He was like, yeah. I was like, no, it's not, man. And it was.
What?
So he used to be 200 kg, bro. Now at the time he was 155.
Fuck.
Imagine losing that much weight.
Jesus.
It's really interesting because I was asking him, I was like, what does it feel? He's like, actually like a new person.
Way of life, like,
He's
yeah.
You've no idea, like,
different energies, different everything, like.
He was like, imagine walking up the stairs with an extra 45 kg backpack on. 45 is a lot, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And probably we have only a short time left there, bro. So I want to finish off with just talking about your fight that just fell through there. So, and the unfortunate situation that I was. So why don't you fill us in on that one?
Yeah, so just basically that's it. Like we were on a good momentum after that last fight in January. You know, it was a really big win for me. That guy Sahul just fought again.
Yeah, and he did well. He did very, very well.
Yeah, smashing
that was a
lad.
big win for you.
I'm telling you, lad, and I'm still feeling it.
Yeah.
Like, it's still sore. But I got one opponent and he got injured. So then I got Lorenzo Parente, and 10 days before the fight, they just said, or 12 or something, they said he had a staph infection, so he's out. But it's grand, bro. You know, initially I was like, couldn't have been more sickened, because Joe, when you have a fight, you like build yourself up physically, but also mentally to do it.
Yeah.
For like,
it's like you're psyching yourself up over weeks. You're visualizing it. You're every time you go training, you're visualizing. I like Ozzy does. He does his, when we're doing the simulation stuff. He does this visualization. You're in the locker room. You're doing this, and you're going through all these
crazy
motions in your head to prepare yourself for an absolute war. For nothing, you know what I mean?
Joe, like, your body is so clever. So like, me and you were like, all we've really done is fight for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, or that's our main focus anyway, yeah. And like, so then you build yourself all the way up for this, and your body knows it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like my body changes as I get closer to it. And then when it didn't happen, there was actually one point that I said I would have nearly preferred to have gone in and lost than not fought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At least you're getting the stimulation of it, like,
man. Because Joe, like, you're trying to come down. At least if you're coming down after a fight, you're like, you've done the thing, and you kind of have like closure.
Yeah.
But with this, I was like, but now I kind of know. Look, every time this has happened in my career, it's always been for a reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it probably gives you a little bit of time to settle down now, and you're aiming to get on the Dubai PFL Dubai one now. It's in September, is it?
September, yeah. But
right.
Fuck, it's 4 months away, lad.
I know.
To do.
Get something in.
3 more fights before then. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
But it is what it is.
So we'll be chatting about before, if they will allow you, might try to get on the 971 one if it's possible.
Yeah, that card's full now. So like, what I'll do is maybe I'll do there's a boxing fight here. I made my pro boxing debut last year.
Yeah, good show actually.
Yeah, there's one June 21st. It's on Aaron Bickerstaff show. It's a class show in the space, so I'd love to do that just to have a knock.
Nice.
You know what I mean? It's good buzz around Dubai, getting everyone to come down as well.
Yeah,
but maybe we'll see. Like, I've also got permission for that. So
so PFL have to give you that.
Yeah, you can't just go scrapping.
That's how I was thinking. It'd be nice if they'd let you just, because it's a separate sport, like, that they let you do. But
I think if it's grappling, you don't have to ask, but I think if it's boxing, you do. But I don't know anything about the contract, but I'm sure my manager knows. So
yeah. So either get a boxing fight, or if someone hopefully pulls out of this 971, you can get on it.
The boxing anyway, for sure.
And I just seen fucking Paul there done his Achilles, bro. That is, crazy, I done my Achilles when I was like 13 playing football, and I did, like, I tried to play on. I didn't know what was wrong. I felt like my foot was hanging off. I didn't know what the crack was, and it was like, I still think to this day, like, my whole left side is off. Yeah, because my right side had to compensate for all that. I was walking around, bro, in school for like 2 months in agony. Yeah, like walking, like limping to school every day. Not like, just now when you're young, I was just like, oh, my foot is sore, but never thought of saying to anyone like, "Man, I'm in serious pain here. Dad, I'm in serious pain here. I need to get this looked at." I was just like got on with it, and my left Achilles now, it's obviously whatever way it's structured from that, it's just complete difference to me right, and there's a certain build up of muscle. And after I was chatting to Paul, I was like, fuck, like make sure to look after that, because
it's crazy.
The posterior chain works in mad ways. If you don't look after that, you'll probably end up like in bits. Do you know what I mean?
Did you see the videos?
I know, bro. I got the heebie-jeebies, and I seen
it was like one of those videos that you'd see in a reel and you have to switch off it, lad.
I'm literally squeezing my nose here because I get that. And I went to the podcast there during the week. I was talking about a thing called do you ever hear of testicular empathy, bro? No. So basically what it is like, you know, if we're describing this like injury into cringe, bro, I get like that cringy feeling in me balls. Do you know what I mean? So I get so I went in to explain that. When I seen that, I was like, me podcast is
Particular
justified
empathy,
now because that is
yeah.
exactly what I'm at getting like. But like he's, it looked like nothing as well. It just looked like he just.
Oh, if you really slow down the video, bro, it's mad. So basically, the spar was done, yeah. So he's sparring this like good Moroccan lad, yeah, and they literally were done. He pushed back as if like the round's done, and when he stepped down, he thought he stepped off the side of the ring, and even the guy watching it, because I was talking to him as well, like when Paul wasn't there as well, and he said that like he's like, bro, that didn't look good at all. Paul thought, and then he looked, he was in the middle of the ring, so he said he felt like he dropped the foot, and I was like, no way, man. And then when I saw the video.
He was definitely in the ring, like it was just the way
in
his
the
foot.
middle. All that, his foot just pointed the other direction there quickly and went back to normal. So like, but not back to normal.
Yeah,
normal,
but
is
like,
it? Like,
no,
I think it's
no.
getting better quickly, but like, I hope it's okay.
I was good for him because I was always saying to me missus, I showed me missus the video last night. I was like, Paul's a bleeding freak of nature, isn't he?
Lads.
He's like, for his weight, he's so athletic, he's
Bro.
so powerful.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have loved him the same, and especially because I was like, talking to him, I was like, it's a good challenge. It's gonna be a good challenge for you this fight. And I was like, you're at that level, do you know what I mean? And this is a
That's what I was
fight.
gonna say,
I was like, this is a fight that's like, yeah, it's a challenge, but you're at like, you take him down, you know that you're at that level now, and this will jump you up to the next opportunity. And like, yeah, you can go around fight, take your time fighting people who are like on your level or maybe lower, but beat a lad like that, you're skyrocketing.
This thing about Paul, like, you know, Paul's, like you said, a freak of nature, bro. Even when he was younger, he was like Munster rugby and all this stuff. He was a serious rugby player, and he's like fast, he's explosive, he's big. And like, when does a 2-0 guy fight a 7-2 guy? A good 7-2 guy too. And I was like, full confidence that he's going to smoke the guy.
Bro.
You know what I mean? Smoke the guy.
Even how he moves, he doesn't move like he's that way. You know what I mean? And when you're sparring, boxing him, he's very quick, very agile, quick angle changes. Obviously, the rugby has a big part to play in his athleticism and his ability to move like that. But yeah, it's just unfortunate for him. He's
bro. But do you know, even with Paul, do you know, when he was 18, he was like knocking lads like asleep in boxing, in boxing fights, because he was boxing for the college. Like, and the thing is, you know, when you spar him and stuff, because he's sound, isn't he? Like, he's not like me. He's not trying to drill you with shots. You know what I mean? He's touching. So Joe and I actually cornered him when he fought in Egypt, and he was actually letting the shots go. Bro,
was like your light flashing before your eyes,
man. Like, you should have seen the kid's face after. And like, Paul didn't land that many clean strikes, but like the ones he threw, he landed. But it wasn't like he was volume punching the guy. Lad, his face was in bits after. So now I was thinking, like, he's just been nice to us, isn't he? You know what I mean? If he actually starts touching boys with a bit of malice.
Yeah, because even sometimes when he does hit you like half hard, he's like, oh, sorry. But like, it's not like, it's just like a little, sometimes the whippy ones are the sore ones, you know what I mean? Boom, you whip and you go, oh, sorry. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to get hit by another one now. I was like, right, I'm done, mommy. Fucking. When we were going fluid on it, you know what I mean? Getting out of the way. Like,
when we were 18, he'd done this boxing fight. And I think it was in England, you know, but it was with the college as well. And like, Joe, usually for like amateur level boxing fights, there's never like heavy knockouts. The video, lad, he put like that lad like forgot the alphabet after. I'd say like, your man was asleep, bro. And that was 18, and he just fucking, it wasn't like he was that mechanically good. He just threw it like, God. And he can spin, he can jump. Like, in the fight in Egypt, when I was watching him, like, not only was he cracking the kid, he like jumping knees, he like spinning heel kicks and stuff.
Being loose and free,
lad. And Joe, he can
that's
just
a dangerous fighter.
He, like, no one taught him those spinning heel kicks. He can
just has it.
I'd blow both my hips if I tried.
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean?
Same. Get too stiff.
It don't work for me.
I think that's more or less it, bro. I think we're running there. It's the hours up. So, just want to say thanks for coming on, bro. This is my first pop on in here. I'm going to try to get a few people on now.
Yeah,
maybe get, if I can maybe get a few of the boys, you, Paul, maybe Sen. We get the Irish crew over. We get you in, have a bit of a crack with it, and just not even have it like a discussion like we had there. Just have a bit of a buzz and just bounce off each other. I think that'd be a cool.
Sen will get the podcast shut down.
I know, I'd be like fucking. I'd be have a warrant out for me, arrest over here. They'd be bringing me back home and extradite me.
No chance of going visa.
Definitely not now.
Get him out there.
But thanks again, Rob, for having us on, and thanks for making the way out. And obviously keep your eyes peeled for John's next fight. Hopefully be on the road to Dubai card here, PFL. And make sure to tune in if you're at home, and keep following his career. Follow him, John Boy MMA on Instagram. I think you're just on Instagram, is it?
That's
more or less. Just on Instagram. So make sure to give him a follow. The Cork Horsebox, the man himself, John Mitchell.
You're the man. Thanks very much.
Nice one for that. Appreciate it.